wanna taste the pain. I think I'm seeing all red. 2 bullets in the gun, 1 shot to the head. I need a blank space. 'Cause everything is a threat, but I never back down. Man, I'd rather be dead. I'm making love to fame. And she look better in bed. And I'ma rock this life till I take my last breath. I wanna make a change. I got 1 life left, so I'm gonna go down swinging. Don't you forget. Everything is so boring. Can't get up in the morning. I'm so sick of the mundane and routine. I'm gonna break without warning. I wanna taste the pain. I think I'm seeing all red. 2 bullets in the gun, 1 shot to the head. I need a blank space. 'Cause everything is a threat, but I never back down. Man, I'd rather be dead. I'm making love to fame. And she look better in bed. And I'ma rock this life till I take my last breath. I wanna make a change. I got 1 life left, so I'm gonna go down swinging. Don't you forget. I've gotta find a new purpose, something actually worth it. I wanna look in the mirror and like what I see. I'm sick of feeling so worthless. You wanna sink or swim? I'm gonna go down swinging. Look deep within. I get lost in the feeling. I just need a win. I'm going off. I know it's time to make a change, and I can take the pain. You wanna sink or swim? I'm gonna go down swinging. Look deep within. I get lost in the feeling. I just need a win. I'm gonna find my meaning. I can make a change. I wanna play the game. You wanna sink or swim? I'm gonna go down swinging. Look deep within. I get lost in the feeling. I just need a win. I'm going off. I know it's time to make a change, and I can take the pain. You wanna sink or swim? I'm gonna go down swinging. Look deep within. I get lost in the feeling. I just need a win. I'm gonna find my meaning. I can make a change. I wanna play the game, yeah.
Hello everybody, welcome along. We're just finishing off practice for round 5 of the GT3 Masters from RRLeagues. Car's looking resplendent there in the paddock. Fantastic. I hope you understand why we're slightly tardy today. If anything goes wrong, that's because I've been busy doing other things after a hectic night last night. With my colleagues David Dorr and Clive Britton on a flight back from Sebring today. And fair play to David Dorr, he drove about 200 laps yesterday, and today he's jumped into another car completely different from what we were driving yesterday, the LMP2s around Sebring. Today he's driving in the Bentley for another 2 hours around Mount Panorama here in Australia, Bathurst. Much respect to David. He was absolutely on fire yesterday after being on fire in this series in the Bentley, so literally hasn't got out of his cockpit this weekend. And utmost respect. I cannot tell you how much skill it takes to do what he did yesterday, pump out lap after lap after lap for literally hours on end. To then jump into another car in another sim and be as competitive as no doubt going to be tonight. But stamina might be a thing here for David today, so we'll keep an eye out for that as he goes out on his first qualifying lap. Martine Kennens in chat. Hello, Martine. He will be our steward for the first lap because slightly, well, not like Monza, but a track that is liable to cause a few instances, especially when the cars are bunched up on the first lap as they go through the mountain here. If there is a serious incident that causes most of the field, or at least a significant part of the field, to become immobile, the red flag will be dropped and we will have a restart. But hopefully that won't happen, but there is something in place to ensure that that doesn't ruin everybody's race if we do have a big incident like that. So we go on board with David and we'll just, I think we missed the mountain, haven't we? Let's go and find somebody who isn't that far up the mountain. Should we embarrass Rude? Sorry, Rude. No pressure, mate. This is your warm-up lap, to be fair. Oh, let's say the mountain tarmac looks like it needed changing then. Where's the dash cam? There we go. So tighten the wall to the left, then tighten the wall to the right as I go through here. Back tighten the wall to the left. Let the car ride out to the tarmac, just over on the right there. Swing it across. Don't touch that curb, but let's swing out to the wall. Back off ever so slightly through here. Get tight to that Pyrex wall on the inside. Roll, brake underneath the barrier, and then hold on to your underpants as you go down through the S's here. Through here, make sure you don't lose control of the car through that bit as the weight shifts all over the place. And then the trickiest corner here to get right, simply because you need to carry as much pace as you can down the straight, the famous Conrod straight, as they go up through the chase after that. So very important to, as the Rude's doing here, warm your tyres up, make sure you've got plenty of temperature going. Take as much pace as you can. You can just see the elevation changes. Look at that. That's a great shot just to show. And down through the chase, seeing many, many accidents through there as they take all that speed and then look for that India overtaking opportunity through these two corners here. And then down towards the start-finish line. I'll take the pressure off Rude. The commentator curse off him as he goes through. Here's Jim Britton. Crew Chief at Megacorp's work team. Megacorp Works team. I got my plurals wrong then. Going up through the mountain. Gives you a good shot of all those lines I was just telling you about. I know the lines, I just can't drive them. It's so easy to talk this lap than it is to drive it. You can just see how much concentration the guy's going to need. 2 hours tonight, don't forget, 120 minutes. 2 compulsory pit stops just for fuel. So it's up to the guys whether they take tyres or not. So strategy will undoubtedly play a key part in the race tonight, but that will come secondary, I think, mainly to survival through the mountain. Do you risk it for a biscuit? Or do you dunk it for a... Yeah, I don't know. Well, stay off the grass there, Jim. Don't do that. So I put warm your tyres up just to pick up the turf. So Jim's going to come down to start his lap. 10 minutes to go in qualifying. Let's get that TV tower up. That's better. .24 cars currently in the server. We do have a few absentees today. So off Jim goes. Let's go on board with him, shall we? I'll take a lap in the McLaren. Over the crest of the hill. Down. Brake just on that tarmac mark there where that access road is. Keep it tight there. Let it drift out wide. You can ride that curb there. Up the hill. Blind corner there. Just keeps turning. And then this tight little turn there. And then up the hill they go. Still climbing. And now through that section we watched from the helicam. Tight to the left wall. Drift over onto the tarmac on the right there. Not quite as much taken by Jim there, but he's driving safe, which is what they're going to need to do tonight. And down through here, you can just see the changes, not just in elevation, not just in direction, but also the camber as well. Really twist the chassis of these cars. And that's nice out of there from Jim. He'll carry plenty of speed now down the straight. Goes over the crest. Put it to the left-hand side when the tarmac comes up. And swing through the apex. Don't lift. Brake about 120. There we go. Hard on the brakes. Bounce that curb. Take this curb as well. And roll it down to the start-finish. Against downhill. So pick your braking point. And that seems like such an innocent turn, that last corner. But it's... can really throw you off, and he goes over the start-finish line. That's 8th for Jim Britton, 2 seconds off Bram de Patre. Look at that, Bram's in the service tonight. The last GT3 Masters champion who's missed out on this series joins as a guest tonight and shows why all the other drivers were so glad he wasn't in the server for most of the other races. A 2017. Currently 1.4 faster than Arella's Lexus. Jack Caminetto and Radek Pavlicek up there, 3rd and 4th for Paradigm Shift. And David Dorr, as I said, we were talking about earlier, in 5th in the Bentley. Let's go and have a look at somebody. Who should we pick? Should we go and have a look at what it's like with Bram? No, he's just about to finish a lap, so let's go and find somebody. James Mead also. Remember him from our last GT3 series, not the GT3 Masters. The coalition, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, that one. Between us and Pit Stop UK. James Mead joining us tonight for this race here at Bathurst. Oh, there's a car down the left-hand side, and that's just put James Mead off there, I think. I'm not sure if that broke. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that'll be the end of that lap for James. So he'll stop there and pull it over. The yellow Mercedes, which I think was it Timo Sis? Yeah, it must have been, because Timo's back in the pits now in that yellow Merc. So I think that's what that was, as the cameraman tries to work out what he's looking at. Try and find somebody else on track that didn't affect. Robert Horvath's on a quick one. Although he is just going through turn 2, so... Currently half a second up at the moment, Robert, through these first few corners. And can he keep that going through the mountain? Let's see. Just 5 minutes to go. Oh, very close to the wall there, Robert Horvath, taking all the tarmac offered to him. And of course, there was a massive change in the physics model by Kunos for the simulation this week. So many of these drivers have had to do some really on-the-fly setup changes to try and work out exactly what's happened to their car. I know one person who was really, not saying complaining, but really voiced his concerns was Sanyo Alpha in the BMW M4. That car particularly hard hit in the changes. So much so that I think that is Sanyo in the service tonight. No, I think he's discussed with the management of that change, borne out by the fact that he's not in the server tonight. So Horvath comes through here. He's currently almost a second up, 8 3/4, 8 tenths, 9 tenths. Goes through, and that puts him up to 5th, 1.2 off Bram de Patre. I think we worked out what it was last time. Bram, if I got it wrong, mate, shoot me. But I think that's right. De Patre, isn't it? De Patre. That sounded scouse then. Just when there's a red flag situation, I make the call a lot. Yes, will do, Martine. If you let me know which channel you want me to jump into, I'll be happy to throw in there and throw a red flag if you let me know. Or if you want to call it yourself, that's fine. But let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope that all these guys know exactly what they're doing. If you want to jump into comms box, mate, feel free. You can call it from there if you like. but however you want to do it is fine. We've been watching Robert Horvath for a while. Let's go and watch Cliff Bulk. Here we go. Teammate of David Dorr. I suppose while we're doing this, I should really give you an idea of the team's situation and the Drivers' Championship as well. Fortunately, our graphics engineer not with us today. Like we've got a graphics engineer. Where are we? GT3 Masters, and that looks like Cliff's come to a stop. Jack Camaletto, currently sat in third. He's currently 3/10 up on this lap as he comes over the crest down the Conrod. Again in those colours amended halfway through the season to show support for the guys in Ukraine. 4/10 Camaletto currently. This will jump him maybe ahead of Robert Horvath, who's gone quicker again, as you can see. And Camaletto goes third, just 100th. Less than 100th off Robert Horvath. So Bram Depreter first, Robert Horvath second, Camaletto, Cliff Bulk, Radek Pavlicek up there in fifth as well. The Lexus of Ralph Arella struggling for pace around here. Cy Fillingham not far behind. In fact, those two on the pace of each other. So nice guy. I know Cy Fillingham loves it round here. James Mead up to 8th there. Jim Britton manages to drag the McLaren to 9th, followed by teammate Binnersley, split by David Dorr there in 10th. Gas Forsberg in the only Audi R8 in the lineup tonight. He's there in 12th currently. Let's see if we can find anybody else who's on a quick one. David Dorr already 3/10 up at this stage, so I'll keep an eye on David as he finishes his lap. I'll try and find the details of the team's championship. So David Dorr, Cliff Bulk, Intense Racing currently sit on 518 points. 39 points, did you hear my mental maths then? 39 points ahead of Team 77, that's Cy Fillingham, Ralph Arella. A gap then back to the Crew Chief Megacorp Works team of Jim Britton and Rick Binnersley, back on 375, so 104 points further back. And then Paradigm Shift in fourth. Jack Camaletto, Radek Pavlicek there on 318. Shout out to Robert Horvath's team in fifth, which is just Robert Horvath. He's sat there fifth in the team's championship on 246 points, just 7 points ahead of Sanyo Alpha. His BMW team, again, driving by himself there in sixth. With the JJ Esports team in seventh, that's Peter Naziba and Ladislav Toth down there in seventh. Dusan Magyar, Nicholas Wicklander, Virtual Velocity in eighth. Paskin and Cocaine for TSR number 51 down there in ninth. Arben Nushi at team 53 for TSR down in 10th. So that's that. David Dorr, did he go quicker? I don't if he didn't improve the timings, so that's that one. Timing screen has gone. James Mead getting held up behind the McLaren here. He's half a second up. He's not going to. He might have appreciated the toe, but he won't appreciate the block. And he comes down. That puts him sixth. So James Mead goes over in sixth. That's a good improvement for him. Ralph Arella is on a quick one as well. I say a quick one. He's 3/10 up, but for Ralph, that's going to put him sixth at best. So he needs to pick up a bit more time on that. Rick Binners, he's 7/10 up on his lap. Where's he? Just coming on the out of the mountain. He's picked up a little bit of time there. So Binnersley almost a second up on his time. This will really mix it up and put him up above, well, with the Bulk and Mead timings up there. Aaron Cleaver also with us from Pit Stop UK today. Good to see Aaron with us. He was on a quick one, but for some reason he's just disappeared from my timing screen, so I must have lost some time there. But Binnersley, let's go to the other scene so you can see. There you go. Just lost a little bit of time there. 7/10 up. Just tenths, just hundredths, just losing there. Through the final corner. He's lost a little bit of time there. That's a shame. Binnersley crosses the line. Goes ninth. That half a second he lost there. It cost him about 3 places. But still, Arella just coming through. You can see 3/10 up for Ralph Arella. That puts him 7th. Didn't improve. Improved the time, but didn't improve his positioning, and that's it. So that's your grid. Depreter from Camaletto and Pavlicek, the 2 paradigm shift boys, find themselves 2nd and 3rd after what's been a frustrating season for those two. So good to see them coming back strong. Robert Horvath there is in 4th. That Lamborghini obviously coming out of the Kunos changes quite well. Depreter in an NSX there. That's nice to see on the front row. Fair play to Bram. Cliff Bulk in 5th there with James Mead on his outside in 6th. Ralph Arella, teammate Fillingham 7th and 8th. Team 77 on the 4th row. And on the 5th row, the crew chief Megacorp Works team of Binnersley and Britain. Binnersley out qualifying Britain. That'll give him a little bit of a smile. Dorr is 11th from Jazz Forsberg 12th. Cleaver and Paskin 13th and 14th. Magyar and Andre Moll 15th and 16th. Night driving from Dusan Magyar. They're also Wicklander, head of Rude Dennis 17th and 18th. Alistair Toth and Sam Cocaine down there on the 10th row. And as we scroll down, oh, hang on, technical error. That's better. Is that a technical error? I don't know. Where are we looking at? There we go. Peter Naziba and Travis Rodriguez down there, 21st, 22nd. Timo Sis down in 23rd. And at the back, Arben Nushi for the 2nd TSR team. Richard Vanema not in place today, his teammate. So on Arben travelling by himself. Drivers' Championship, that'd be interesting to look at, won't it? So this is even closer. Cliff Bulk leads for the Bentley team, as we said. Intense racing. He's on 296 points, just 4 points behind him. Ralph Arella on 292. Cliff Bulk, 2 wins. Sorry, a win and 2 seconds. Ralph Arella, 2 wins and a 3rd. Bulk's got a 3rd place, which currently isn't counted in those scores. Arella, other score is a 6th. So Cliff Bulk's got something to drop back on there with his 3rd place. Robert Horvath is in 3rd on 246. So quite a way back off Arella. But he's followed closely by Sonia Alpha, who's not with us today. So that's really going to hurt his championship. Bennesley 230, remember, winner in Spa. And on 222, David Dorr, the second part of that intense racing team. Cy Fillingham down there in 7th. Or down there in 7th on 187. With just behind him, Jack Camaletto on 183. And they're followed by Jim Britton and Andre Bergsma, 145 and 140 respectively. So there we go. They go off on their warm-up lap and switch to helicam shots so we can see what's going on. If you're wondering why I've got the headlights on, you can see in the top of the screen. Race time today currently 6:03 AM in game, so the track will be pretty chilly. To counter on that though, of course, the guys will get that fantastic Assetto Corsa Competizione sunrise up the mountain, so I'll have to hope that warms their tyre up. I'm just going to go for a 2-minute WAS while they're warming up, and I'll be back in a second. What I miss? What I miss? Oh, thank goodness the prostate didn't play up this time. So, oh, volume's a bit loud. My apologies. Let's just turn my voice down a little bit. Turn it off if you want to. I don't care. Just watch the action. So, easy for me to say, Bram. Oh, Jesus Christ. The Honda NSX of Bram leads them over the crest as they come down. They'll start to form up into two trains very shortly. Two paradigm shift cars there of Camaletto and Pavlicek, which were fairly difficult to make out previously between the difference between the two of them. Now it's pretty much impossible, but yeah, one's got yellow on the left, one's got yellow on the right. That's really helping me. Cheers, guys. So here they come round in two trains of two. No, two trains of 20. Two trains of 12. I'm on fire tonight. So Jack Camaletto starting on the front row alongside Bram Depretet. They'll come round the final corner. Horvath there in fourth. Just needs to get a little bit tighter to Camaletto as he leaving himself some room. You can see there as well that the car of Aurelius Fillingham actually left a big gap there. And they get away. Depretet's away safely as his Camaletto goes wide. Pavlicek's going to look up the inside of his teammate going up the hill, and he does indeed get past. So Pavlicek into second. Camaletto third. James Mead challenging Horvath there as they come up turn two. Horvath makes it, well, keeps his position ahead of Mead. So far, it looks like everyone's through and up there. There's a bit of a gap further on back the field. I hope nothing's happened further back there. No, they're all coming through. That's all good as they go up through the mountain. There's a Andre Mole looks like he's suffered somewhere at the back as well. So a couple of incidents there, but nothing too serious. I'm just trying to find the leader. There he is. There goes De Patriot. Further back. There's Mead and Horvath. Jim Britton obviously under team orders to give the place to Jim Britton there. So those two have swapped places from the grid. There's David Dorr further back in the field. And there's Rude Dennis makes it through. So looks like everyone's managed to negotiate the mountain. So Martine Kennans, looks like you're free from stewarding duties, mate. They've all managed to make that through okay. As we knew they would already. Look at that. Depretet some 2.4 seconds ahead of Radek Pavlicek. The NSX may have received the buff, but trust me, Bram Depretet is a buffing himself. He's going to come through the final corner to lead lap one by some distance behind them. The battle's going to be here. Pavlicek leads Camaletto second and third. Mead fourth. Horvath fifth. Bulk and Arella sixth and seventh from Fillingham. Britton Binnersley. David Dorr down to 11th. Forsberg 12th. Cleaver Paskin. Dusan Magyar 15th. Wicklander's up to 15th. Cocaine, good start from him up to 17th. Rude Dennis 18th. Travis Rodriguez 19th. Toth Mol Nushi Timo Sis. And then at the back, Peter Naziba must be involved in that first lap incident. And indeed, Ladislav Toth comes into the pits, presumably with some form of damage. Oh yeah, front of that car looking pretty damaged. So, and the back of it as well. So, Toth in. So we go back to the action at the front. Pavlicek, Camaletto. The two Lambos working very well round here. Mead's got ahead of Horvath now in the AMG, so he's up to fourth. Horvath drops down to fifth. Bulk, Fillingham's actually ahead of Arella now. So Fillingham showing good pace here tonight. As you can just see the mist in the distance. Bit of a dewy day. Start to the day here in Australia. Look how tight they'll get to that wall. Nice lines from all of them there. Oh, big accident at the back there. Sam Cocaine got involved. I think, was it with Rude Dennis? No, Rude Dennis is further back. Sam Cocaine. Where is Sam Cocaine? There he is. Was it Dusan Magyar? No, I think it was one of the other NSXs at the back there, the dark green ones. Came a cropper. I think it must have been Wicklander because, oh no, that's Dusan Magyar there. So it might have been Magyar involved in that incident with Cocaine coming out of the corner down the mountain. I should really learn these corner names. I do know them, but I'm 50 years old and I forget things very easily. Up front, that's Pavlicek, that's Camaletto, followed by Mead, Horvath, Bulk, Fillingham. As the cameraman goes in a wander. Fillingham, Arella, Jim Britton, Rick Binnersley. Amazing to watch, isn't it? Just how close these guys get to the wall. So, Depretet did a stonking first lap, remember, 3 seconds out in front after lap 1 as they all sorted themselves out. That gap's now been stabilised at 3 seconds by Pavlicek and Camaletto. Or just Pavlicek. Camaletto just dropping a second and a half behind his teammate. You can see the gap there. But like I said, long old race, 2 hours, don't forget. So plenty can happen. And just look at the lead there. That Depretet always makes me question the timings when I see them on the Conrod straight. It doesn't look like 3 seconds, but apparently that's what it is. Back in the field. Right, just having a look now on Fillingham. Excuse me. Great time to get hiccups. That was server hello there. I think we're all good. Fortunately, it was down this end of the track rather than all going up the mountain. Fillingham pulls to the left there. Has he let his teammate go? I think he is. So Fillingham lets Arella go. Remember, big team championship battle on today. Fillingham and Arella sit 7th and 8th. Bulk and Dorr sit 6th and 11th. So the Team 77 guys looking to pull some points back today, if they can. Britain just getting close to the wall there. Binnersley having to sit patiently behind his CEO, chairman, and basically world despot, Jim Britton. And now Britain starting to put... Actually, that kiss on the wall must have done him a world of good, because now Britain is closing down Cy Fillingham. I've seen this view already once from Jim's car in qualifying. Now he's doing it before he's even had his breakfast. Oh, hard on the brakes there. Didn't want to get caught out by Fillingham's slowing Lexus. Off they go down the hill. And then back up the hill. So Arella, that is in 7th. You can just see going at the bottom of your screen. Fillingham, Britton, Binnersley, and David Dorr just behind those. A bit of a gap then to Forsberg, who just goes through the top of your picture in 12th. And a bit of a further gap then to Aaron Cleaver in 13th, Magyar 14th, Cocaine 15th, Wicklander, Dennis, Paskin, Rodriguez, Mole, Toth, Naziba, Sis, and right at the back of the field is Arbanushi. So the gap between Depreter and Pavlicek at the front extended to 4.5 now. Pavlicek still a second and a half ahead of Camaletto. Gap of 2 seconds between me, but this is Britain. I'm going to look at Fillingham. So go up the hill and down over the crest. Fillingham's going to the inside for 2. I wonder if he's been given instructions to give Ralph a little bit of a free time to get ahead. I remember David Dorr at the back of those 2 McLarens. No in-game sound. Oh, my apologies. I didn't even notice. No, it wasn't intentional. My apologies, guys. That didn't ruin your first 5-10 minutes, did it? Hope not. User error, obviously. I'm saying, Kennans, thank you as always for being in chat and helping me out. He really is the star of these streams, trust me. Marcel noticed that we didn't have any sound. Thank you, Marcel. Where would we be without you, mate? In fact, why aren't you on track? Get your shit sorted out, come on. So Fillingham still managing to keep Jim Britton at bay. Bennesley's made a mistake through the chase by the looks of it. That's allowed David Dorr to make part, unless David Dorr just made the move on him. But whatever it is, Dorr now up to 10th. Splits the 2 crew chief McLarens. Camaletto follows teammate Pavlicek, followed by James Mead, Robert Horvath, Cliff Bulk, and Arella trying to climb onto the back. Slow moving Travis Rodriguez there, moves out of the way for the leaders to go through. Looks like Travis already had some issues going up the mountain. Lead out in front now extended to 5.2. I won't keep boring you with that because that will likely to keep getting bigger. No disrespect to Pavlicek, but Bram did come from Alpha Centauri this morning to be in this race today. Looks like Cameron just had to back out of that one through there then. Carried a lot of speed through the top and just had to blend it off as he came through the S's. But keeps a distance to himself and Radek to about 1.5 seconds. James made 2 seconds. That's not 2 seconds. That's 2 seconds. I'm hung like a donkey. And I'm not. So Camaletto follows through. The chase behind Pavlicek ahead of Mead. Further back, Robert Horvath in 5th. Passed earlier by Mead after he'd passed Mead at the start. After Mead had passed him at the start. So those 2 have had a old chopping and changing. There's Mead in the teal and white Mercedes. Followed by Horvath, followed by Bulk. And you can see Arella already climbed onto the back of Cliff Bulk, so all of a sudden the Lexus of Arella has found some pace. The battle, however, is back here. Cy Fillingham still holds off Jim Britton, David Dorr and Rick Bennesley. Those 4 covered by less than a second. Forsberg can just see the distance there in 12th, followed by Magyar in 13th, Cocaine in 14th, Cleaver, Wicklander, Rude Dennis, Andre Mole, Adislav Toth, Naziba, Rodriguez, Paskin, Sis and Arbanushi still running. We saw Cy Finningham defend so well at the Hungaroring a couple of races ago. And he's doing a sterling job here as well. Had pace at the start of the race, and obviously in qualifying as well. Teammate Arella, obviously no slouch, being 8-time champion here at RRL. But Cy just being, I wouldn't say circumspect, but just taking care through the S's in this early stage of the race. Wouldn't have thrown it at a wall at this stage. Still an hour and 3/4 to go, don't forget. This time Britain's got a good run on him though. Moves out as they come down into the depression, up over the crest. And McLaren had to move back in there. Look at that. That's, yeah. I don't know if Jim's got the settings set up on that car to give him a little bit more wing, but whatever it was, as soon as he pulled out the slipstream of that Lexus, really didn't want to know, did it? And if that's all that McLaren's got, well, it's going to struggle here, that's for sure, because there's nowhere else you can overtake apart from the two straights, really. Into turn 2, but you're going to need to be alongside at least into turn 2, and if the McLaren doesn't have that pace, that's not going to happen. So, Depreter, Pavlicek, Camaletto, Mead, Horvath, Bulk, Arella. And then this battle between Fillingham, Britton, Dorr and Binnersley. Forsberg 3 seconds further back behind this battle. So, Binnersley having a look at David Dorr. As I say, it's worth bearing in mind that not only there were 3 drivers in the endurance team, yeah, well, 2 drivers and me in the endurance team at Sebring yesterday, but David and shout out to Clive Britton as well, did I wouldn't say, well, the vast majority of the laps. I just got the vast majority of incident points, but we were up for 12 hours and David Dorr was probably looking at the screen for most of those 12 hours, either driving or spotting. So endurance will play a huge part in this today, but once he's in the zone, as we found out yesterday, there's really not much shaking him. So watch out for him later in the race. If he starts to fade, it won't only be the car, that will be a physical limitation on the human body. But currently sits there in 10th, hoping to bring home some team points. More intense racing to keep them ahead of Team 77, the Lexuses of Arella and Fillingham. So again, Britain close to Fillingham, but really can't make any kind of impression. It's unfortunate for Jim. That's those things quicker in the up in the mountain doesn't really help if you're slower on the straights. The only thing that's changed up front is now Balkanarella right behind Robert Horvath in 5th. We'll jump to that shortly. We'll just see if Jim Britton can get any extra pace out of that McLaren. Today he sat right in the slipstream of that Lexus, literally bump drafting him, but he cannot. As soon as he pulls out, there's no pace there. I wonder if Rick Binnersley has his car set up the same, or are they running a lot more fuel? I think before the race Jim thought he was just going to go for even stops and take tyres at each stop just to make sure he had all the grip to get through the mountain safely for the whole 2 hours. Oh, Dorr just brushes the wall. That'll be fine. But already that Bentley slightly lighter and a bit of paint disappearing. Binnersley behind would have got a mouthful of sparks as well. Depreter still leads Pavlicek, Camaletto, Mead, Horvath, Bulk, Arella in this battle here. how the race ebbs and flows. 1 minute they're right up each other's chuff, the next minute there's a half a second gap. It's about putting a number of consistent quick laps together. Try and break the concentration of the guy behind. Oh, mistake from Horvath by the looks of it. Bulks through. As is Arella, and then Robert Horvath, you can see back there, kicks up some dust at the outside of turn 1 in disgust. Back there in 7th. It's saying there's an incident for Fillingham. We didn't see that. Let's have a look, see what that was. Probably something very minor, I'm guessing. Yep, not quite sure what it's seen there, but whatever it is. Incident for Horvath. Is this the one we're looking at? Or is this at the start of the race? Let's have a look. No, it's further at the start of the race. It's just that nudge with James Mead as they went through, put the top of the mountain. That's all that was. So nothing to look at there. So no details given for Robert Horvath's accident. It's just a mistake. It's dropped him 2.6 off the back of that battle. David Dorr, where's David Dorr? Billingsley's got past David Dorr. So did Dorr brush the mountain again? So it's as you were, the two McLarens now again running 9th and 10th. And Dorr and Billingsley swap back places. And still, Cy Fillingham soaks up pressure and in fact starts to catch Robert Horvath after his error. There's a damage on that Lamborghini, we'll see. Depreter 8 seconds now ahead of Pavlicek. He's still got that 1.5 seconds on his teammate Jack Camaletto. James Mead 2.8 further back from Bulk, Arella, Horvath, Fillingham, Jim Britton, Rick Billingsley, David Dorr. Get back to Forsberg, Magyar, Aaron Cleaver there in 14th for Pit Stop UK. Nicholas Wicklander in 15th. Rude Dennis up there in 16th. Nice driving, Rude. Well done, man. Sam Cockayne in 17th. Andre Mole recovering after that first turn incident, who I think it was with Timo Sis. Pushes him back down the field in 18th. That's going to improve Andre's joyous mood already. Ladislav Toth 19th, Peter Naziba in 20th. Both those guys for JJ Racing. Travis Rodriguez there in 21st, Paskin 22nd, Nushi 23rd, and I'm guessing 24th position. In fact, we don't have a 24th position. Who have we lost? Nicholas Wicklander's there. Nuso Magyar, 2 Hondas. Oh, we've lost one of them anyway. Is it Ian Paskin's there, Sam Cockayne's there? Okay, well, answer on a postcard. Jim Britton just taught a bit of the curb there on the exit. Car looks fine, but he's now got 2.5 seconds over Billingsley. David Dorr, you can see the gap there to Billingsley. Trying to see if there's any damage to that Bentley. Doesn't look like it, apart from the lack of paint on the offside, or it is the offside, right hand drive Bentley, don't forget. So they go through. One man we should really take a look at out on his own. I'll go on board just in case you needed to know how to drive this circuit very, very quickly. leave you with Bram for 30 seconds while I grab myself a drink. The way that the way that Honda flexed and twisted as he came through the S's there was really something to behold, but great car control. So quick to pick the throttle up there as well. And that's why 25 minutes into the race, Detrimental leads by 10 seconds as he crosses the line. 12 laps gone. Detrimental, Pavlicek, Camaletto, James Mead now chased by Bulk and Arella. Fillingham, in fact, ooh, where is Robert Horvath? Down in 18th. Horvath had an incident, not showing up on my highlights reel, unfortunately. Horvath's been in for a stop, that's why he's down there. So Robert Horvath's gone for a stop, that's why he's down there. He's got a bit of clear traffic, clear track ahead of him as well, so that should aid him. Meanwhile, David Dawes once again swapped places with Rick Binners there. Keep missing the overtakes every time they happen. So all these cars have all jumped to place following Robert Horvath's pit stop. And first of leaders to make their first stop very early. If he damaged his car in whatever pushed him back from 5th back to 7th when Mead and Bulk passed it. Oh, and Arella as well indeed. If he suffered any damage there, I'm not quite sure, but whatever it is, Horvath in for that early stop. He's down to 17th. Is Cliff Bulk and Ralph Arella. Two closest cars on track at the moment. So we're down to 21 now. If we lost two more drivers. Travis Rodriguez looks like he's gone missing. Coming out of the pits there in the background. Looks like that was Sam Cockayne possibly making his stop. Yes, it was. There we go. Cameron just had to try and work out who it was. So first pit stop for Sam as he comes out ahead of the Lexus of Cy Fillingham. One thing Fillingham doesn't want is a slower car through the mountain. Now, why are we looking at that one? We want to look at Cy Fillingham. There we go. So, oh, Sam Cockayne into the wall. Oh, just misses Jim Britton. Wow. Slow car. which is that of Sam Kane. Big accident at the top of the hill. David Dorr will try and get past him through here. Sam in a very badly damaged Ferrari by the looks of it. How Jim Britton managed to miss that, I do not know. He'll be counting his chickens tonight, I'll tell you. And you're stuck with David Dorr, unfortunately, while we have a famous Unreal Engine crash. Half an hour into the race, that's as long as it lasted. It's about as reliable as, well, as something that's not very unreliable. So bear with us for a second while we've got a quiet moment in the race. Remember that the standings, got them. Okay, here we go. Talk amongst yourselves. Come on, you know the procedure by now. That's loaded. That's good.
Green light, go, go, go.
So, did anything change? Depreter leads Pavlicek, Camaletto, Mead, Bolt, Corella, Fillingham, Britton, Dorr, Forsberg is ahead of Binnersley now. That's about the only thing I remember seeing, unless that was the same before they went. So, apologies, Marcel. That's the hardware you need to fix, mate. Ridiculous ACC software. Well, the game's fine, but the other stuff, unfortunately, not so much. Oh, we've got a track map. Don't want to see a track map. Thank you. Let's get back to normal. There we go. As the sunrise rises. Sunrise can't set, you dickhead. The sun rises in Mount Panorama in Bathurst, and now the cars will start to see that glorious sun in their windshield. Should we go on board with Bram just to see? In fact, blue sky is already out. We've missed the sunrise. What a lovely day that looks like. That bit of mist over the mountain at the start. We've now got a lovely blue sky. At the crack of dawn. Everyone loves the crack of dawn. I had a girlfriend called Dawn once. You know where that joke's going. Look at that sun just coming through the crowds there. Over the top of the mountain. Beautiful. Fantastic. That'll get worse as it starts to rise. It'll be right in the driver's eye line as they come across the mountain. So Depreter goes on his way. Pavlicek. Still faithfully keeping Camaletto. Okay, it looks like he's got a little bit close here, Jack. Gap down to what looks like about a second or so. Two Lambos running very, very well. Horvath up to 16th following his early pit stop. He's behind Andre Mol. There is Robert Horvath. Was running, qualified 4th, ran 5th for some time. Instant pushed him back to 7th. And then an early pit stop sees him down in 15th currently. Looking to get ahead as Mol slips back behind Horvath. Mistake from Binnersley. Coming through the chase here, you can see it's just got it onto the inside curb there, spun it round. So he'll recover behind or ahead of Aaron Cleaver. Cleaver looking up the inside into the final corner as Binnersey recovers, cleans those tyres up. So Binnersey down to 13th. They go across the line. Detrimental leads Pavlicek, Camaletto, Mead, Bog, Arella, Fillingham, Britton, Dorr, Forsberg, Magyar, Cleaver, Binnersey, Wicklander, Horvath, Moll, Dennis, Toth, Cocaine, Naziba and Paskin. Just 21 of the 24 runners left as we go through the first quarter of the race. How you all doing in chat? Good, I hope. A little stat for you. I noticed when going through the Google statistics, 60% of the people that watch these videos are not subscribed to this channel. What is that about? So if you haven't clicked the subscribe button, please do it right now before you do anything else. Click it right now. Go on, that's it. That little button down there. Go on, click it. That's it, just like that. Click, click. Get subscribed, and in that way you'll get all our future videos and bits and pieces when they come through. Second episode of the Second Best Sim Racing podcast will be out soon as well, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. Hoping to have some of the guys from this series talking to us about their experiences and what they found so good about this this GT3 Masters, 5th running of the championship. Binnersey looks to make a move on Cleaver as they come down into the chase. Cleaver gives him room, but takes the inside line here. And two of them go side by side. Binnersey gives it up. Nice driving from both of them there. Cleaver keeps the space. And Binnersey stays 13th. Jim Britton, no surprise, he's still right behind Fillingham. Say no surprise. There's no disrespect to Jim, more of a story about how that McLaren is driving behind the Lexus. Just unless Si makes a mistake somewhere, there's no way. It seems that the McLaren has the pace down the straight as Jim drifts that into the corner, breaks it lovely, controls the slide and keeps within a couple of tenths of Fillingham as they go through the mountain section. Through the chase they go, grabbing a hot dog as they go past. Thank you very much. Britton really close to Fillingham here, but it appears it doesn't matter how close he is here, as long as Fillingham comes out of the final corner at the top of the mountain here, no matter how close Britton is, that's how they'll stay all the way down the straight. Jim, for your sake, I hope I'm proved wrong, but I think you've already had 37 minutes of being in that position, of just not having enough pace to get past that Lexus on the straight. Any move I think Jim's going to have to make here will be in the pit stops, the window of which is open very, very soon. Three 40-minute stints. 3:40. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful, isn't it? McLaren looking to brake later into turn one, but that Lexus already gone and got there before Jim even thought about late braking. Behind him in distance, you see David Dorr there in 9th. The only car of the front runners to stop so far is that of Robert Horvath. He's trundling along in 14th, behind Rick Binnesley now, so making good progress, Robert Horvath. Jim gets onto the marbles there. It's not going to help his tyres, but you can see the McLaren so quick and nimble through this part of the section, through this section of the track. Paul Fillingham has to make sure he doesn't do is hit a wall. Because it would have to be a pretty opportunistic move by Jim Britton to get past in this section. And you can see the frustration starting to show in Jim Britton's driving now, really pushing it through that final corner, locking the brakes ever so slightly. And now he has to sit and read all the advertising on the back of that Lexus again. As they fly down to the chase. Be surprised to see Britton in for a stop this lap. But no, goes through. Remember, stop for fuel and tyres, 30 seconds. If it's just fuel, then it is what it is. But as soon as I take tyres, it's a 30-second mandatory stop. Britton just goes wide there. He's lost a bit of time on Fillingham, and he's got a back marker there of, that's Dusan Magyar in front of him. Magyar or Wicklander. It's Wicklander, so Nicholas Wicklander getting involved in the action there. Lets Britton through. It's the Honda NSX. Quite as buffed as the Bram Depreter NSX, obviously that one of Nicholas Wicklander, but still Nicholas travelling around there in 17th. Good showing from him. And has made a stop already, as you saw him come out of the pit, so slightly false position there. He will jump up a few places when the other cars start to pit, but still Depreter leads Radek Pavlicek by 16 seconds now. Jack Camaletto happy to sit there in third in this early stage of the race. James Mead now 4.5 seconds back in fourth. Bulk in fifth. Arella just starting to lose touch of Bulk there in fifth. He's in sixth. Fillingham and Britton, man we've been watching most of the race, 7th and 8th. David Dorr 3.5 off those two. Gap then back to Judge Forsberg. Dusan Magyar, Cleaver. Biddisy losing time all the way there. Now 3 seconds behind Aaron Cleaver in 13th. As he struggles with that McLaren as the track starts to warm. And a big gap then to Horvath, you can see some 25 seconds behind Binnersley. Although when the cars stop, obviously with the time in the pits and the time for the stop, Horvath will jump a few places. Ooh. Pavlicek's tyres just starting to cry enough as he slid through the S's. Well under control though, still keeps the gap to Camaletto to about 1.5 seconds. Should we go back? I know it's boring. Let's go back and look at Fillingham and Jim Britton. Those two still duking it out. If you do drive a Lexus, don't be surprised if your crew chief software doesn't work next time you switch it on. But you will get an enhanced version if you drive the McLaren. Oh, was that? It's like the car was going sideways. It might have been an optical illusion, but like Fillingham's car wasn't going in the right direction, but obviously it was. And so now the sun really starts to come up. It's a beautiful morning. Plenty of crowd in watching this race, as you can see. It's funny, but it's exactly the same gate receipts as they had last time we were here, almost to a penny. I don't know how they do that, but there you go. Arella is pitting, so Ralph Arella comes in for his first stop. In fact, he's out already, so he's been in, stopped, and now he's out. My guess is no tyres changed. Ralph will run for another 35-40 minutes, I should say. And he'll probably come in for a stop, 4 tyres for the end. So Arella's in, out. He's in 13th. Behind the McLaren of Binnersley. A couple of back markers between him and Binnersley. But Arella out in 13th after his stop. Should go on board with him as he goes through the mountain just so he can see what the sun's like. Where's the other one? Where's the dash cam? There we go. That's what Ralph's seeing at the moment. That's what you see, or what you don't see, as your retinas detach from the sun beating into them. JJ Racing car ahead here of Arella. Porsche pulls to the left, but Arella, there we go. Nice drive in there, as they've done all season, has to be said. Ladislav Toth and Peter Naziva, great addition to the RRLeagues grid. Good to have them with us. Two Lovebirds still running, 6th and 7th. And the first 12 drivers yet to stop. Arella, the first of the drivers that has stopped there in 13th. Horvath behind him. What's the gap? 8 seconds. So Horvath not really made up too much there, but he has made up some time after the earlier error. Britain really close to filling him here. Just backs off through this section so he can get his turning points and braking markers correct. Not that you make a braking manoeuvre through there, it's normally just trailing the brake off. Better through there this time from Britain, but the Lexus already away. And now Jim can assume the normal position and continue to get shafted by the Lexus. I bet he'd love to dial a few clicks of rear wing off the back of that, just for one straight. This time, Britain in the pits for his stop. 1 minute and 12 seconds. 1 minute and 12. 1 hour and 12 minutes remaining. Britain comes in for his stop. Box for position. And Britain's in. Meanwhile, Fillingham goes through turn 1 on his own finally. I'll be wondering what's happened to his rear view mirror, because it doesn't appear to be working properly. Fillingham now out on his own in 6th position. Still to stop. Bram Depatrier leads. Depatrier. Pavlicek in 2nd. Camiletto, as always, 2nd and a half behind. James Mead there in 4th, Bulk in 5th, Fillingham 6th, Britton in the pits, dropping down in 7th. Stop and go for Binnersley for 30 seconds. I'm guessing that's speeding in the pit lane. Forsberg 8th, Cleaver 9th, Arella 10th, David Dorr in the pits. Where's he going to come out? In fact, he's just stopping. So Horvath. What's happening with the timings here? Can't be that. I was going to say. How is not quite sure what's going on here. Jim Britton's out and away. David Dorr still in the pits. David not that far behind Britton, obviously going into the pits, but now some distance. So there's an accident for Fillingham. Let's have a look at that one. Did he touch the wall? Or did Jim just give him a nudge? I wonder if Jim just gave him a nudge at some point there. And that was the accident, but I think it's ACC and it's pointless as always. So Fillingham through. Lexus presumably brimmed. Fillingham looking to just make the one tyre stop by the looks of it. And then maybe a splash and dash at the end. It's probably the quickest pit stop strategy tonight. It's just whether you can make the time up with a full tank of fuel. Obviously, Fillingham believes he can. Remember, teammate Arella stopping much earlier. So the two on split strategies. The two Lamborghinis of Paradigm Shift. Look like they're taking the same strategy as well. Fortunately, they've got their own pit boxes. So they won't have to double stack these. That's indeed if they come in on the same lap. Depretel leads Pavlicek 19 seconds. Camletto keeping that safe distance behind his teammate but keeping him in check. While the two just managing their tyres and car. And looking good for a 2-3 here, but championship wise, with Bram being a guest, it will be a 1-2 for Pavlicek and Camletto if they keep doing what they're doing. 4 seconds back to James Mead, who again is a guest here, and then Cliff Bulk will come home in 3rd place in the points standings at least, if not for pride. And that's really at this stage of the season is what these guys are looking at. Wins are nice, champagne tastes good, but points is really what it's all about. So the gap between Fillingham and Britton I'm working it out, hang on. About 48 seconds, which is a 30-second stop. So Jim taking tyres and fuel like he said he would. Which I should imagine exactly what Si will do. But he will take more fuel, but it won't matter. It'll be a 30-second stop. If he can go past the hour mark, obviously he'll take less fuel, but there'll be no point in doing that if he's taking tyres. It'll be a 30-second stop anyway, so I should imagine Fillingham will stop in the next couple of laps, get a full tank of fuel. That'll get him to a couple of laps from the end. Now quickly dob in for a quick couple of litres of fuel, and then be out again on his way, whereas Jim Britton, I'm guessing, will have A further 30-second stop. So Pavlicek this time into the pits. Caminetto goes through, takes second place. Pavlicek into the pits for his stop. Hits the mark on the brake. That's nice. Clock just rolls past 7 AM. Pavlicek in, stops on his marks, up on the jacks. I'm guessing so. No. Yep, just takes fuel, Pavlicek, so no tyres for Radek there. Quick stop. One more stop to go. Is he looking to go 2 hours on those tyres, which is a challenge to say the least. But Pavlicek out on the original set of tyres. Will this just be a short stint? We'll wait and see. See what Jack Caminetto does when he comes in. So Caminetto now with some free air. Hammer time. But he's pretty much had Radek sat in front of him all race as a marker. Suddenly when that marker disappears, we need to look for new lines, but not Jack. He's experienced enough to know where to put the car, but it does just play with your mind slightly when you're in a zone and in a groove. And so Jack's really been sat about a second and a half off Radek all race. When he go through this lap, Depreter still leads from Caminetto, James Mead, Cliff Bulk. Caminetto, no, goes right. This is the pits, he'll go through again. There's yellow flags on the circuit somewhere. So it's an accident for David Dorr. Let's hope it's not a serious one. Uh-oh. Back markers. Oh, yeah. Early on the brakes, just catches David Dorr out from the back markers. So Cliff Bulk in fourth, chasing down James Mead. Just a second between them now. Oh, nudge to the wall from Bulk. A bit more paint gone from that Bentley. The guys at the British Body Shop will have some work to do on those cars when they come back today. Hopefully David Dorr's car not too badly damaged, and hopefully the Porsche of whether it is Peter Naziba or Ladislav Toth. I've got a feeling it was Ladislav Toth. Doesn't have too much damage to it, though it's quite easy to go and have a hot dog at turn one. Here's the JJ Racing car, just getting mugged by these two. Let's hope there's no serious damage to that Porsche, apart from a bit of a paint job. So Pavlicek's come out behind Cy Fillingham in sixth. Well ahead of Arella. I've got a feeling that Arella, will he have taken tyres at that stop? Quite possibly. They'll all play out in time. We do know, however, that Pavlicek didn't. Fillingham goes through again. Let's do another lap. Making sure he gets the mileage out of these tyres. As a fleet manager, I'm going to love him. So Fillingham goes through in fifth Front 5 yet to stop. Depreter, Camaletto, Mead, Bulk, Fillingham, Pavlicek in 6 has stopped. Forsberg 7th yet to stop. Cleaver 8th yet to stop. Arella 9th has stopped with Horvath, who has also stopped. Jim Britton's in 11th. Dusan Magyar, Andre Mole, Rude Dennis. Wicklander's in the pits now. Toth in the pits now for repairs, I'm guessing. Cocaine 3 laps down there, but made all his pit stops. Sam Cocaine, Peter Naziba, Ian Paskin, Rick Binnersley down there in 20th. 4 laps down. He must have suffered some damage in the mountain as well. We've lost another driver. Obviously Arba Nushi not with us anymore by the looks of it. James Mead, Cliff Bulk. Currently sitting 3rd and 4th. Peter Naziba rolls into the pits. That'll be his final stop. And this time Bulk into the pits for his stop. So Bulk dives left as James Mead goes through for another lap. Fillingham just about to come round. He rolled down to an hour halfway through the race, and this time Fillingham comes in. This is Fillingham's stop. We'll see where he comes out. Has Jim Britton done enough to stay ahead? Oh no, Fillingham gets it wrong on pit entry. That's going to cost him. Rolls down to his box, stops, and that'll be 30 seconds. Depreter in and out. So Camaletto now leads, yet to stop, from James Mead in 2nd. Depreter 3rd. Cliff Bulk, who has stopped. Is that Lamborghini looking twitchy, or is that just me? Is Jack really pushing on here? We'll see when the pit stops roll out and finish. You remember Radek didn't take tyres at his stop. Will he try and go 2 hours on this set of tyres? Stop and go for Fillingham. That's, as you saw, as he tried to get it stopped coming into the pit lane. Made that slight error, and unfortunately he's got to stop and go 30 seconds. Jim Britton suddenly found a way for that McLaren to get past the Lexus. Leader Camaletto into the pits for his stop. James Mead goes through again. Fuel economy of the AMG, something nobody's ever talked about because it doesn't have any, but today it does. Aaron Cleaver out of the pits ahead of Mead, but a lap down. Cy Fillingham will be absolutely kicking himself after that. Jim Britton will be rubbing his hands with glee. There is Jim Britton, and I think that was Cy Fillingham just in front of him. But Jim will know that Cy's had the stop go. So although he may have lost, what, a second in the pit stop phase, Cy gives a little wiggle to say, yeah, I'm still ahead of you. Jim's like, yeah, not for long though. But remember, this is really going to play with Jim's mind now. Will he go the rest of the race? Not take tyres, just take fuel. Making sure that 30-second stop for Fillingham gives him the position, or will he stop for fuel and tyres, take the full 30 seconds and then carry on racing with Fillingham as he's done? We'll let that play out after Fillingham's been in for his stop and go. Fillingham in. Interesting. Very interesting. Just noticed we've lost David Dorr. There's an incident come up on the screen. I kind of was hoping this wasn't going to happen. I know it's the original one. We've seen that. We saw that incident. It was unfortunate. This is the one we want to look at. Oh no, not another JJ Racing car. Oh, this time he slows for Depreter to pass. Unfortunately, gets mullered in the process. And that's David Dorr out of the race. That's really unfortunate there. James Mead in the pits. Havlicek leads. Depreter must have damage from that incident because Pavlicek came out ahead. Pavlicek back in the pits for a second stop. Presumably picking up tyres this time. I just see that accident from Depreter's view. So blue flags. Dorr moves to onside. And boom, that was the end of David Dorr. In fact, there he is, buried in the Australian countryside. Always got a place in my heart though, David. So Depreter back in the lead. James Mead has stopped and now is in second. Pavlicek, Camaletto. Pavlicek still in the pits. Not quite sure. Pavlicek now out of the pits. Comes out alongside, I presume. That's Jim Britton. It is. So Jim Britton in. Computer says 6th. TV Tower says 8th. I've got a feeling it's 6th. Pavlicek having made both his stops now in 7th. Strange strategy from Pavlicek, but he's done all he wants. He can race to the end now. Everybody else in front of him will have to stop again. So it has shaken out right. Camaletto's come out ahead of Mead. Volk and Arella. Jim Britton in 6th. Pavlicek made both his stops now in 7th. Forsberg 8th. Horvath made both his stops in 9th. Oh, wow. Good save, Mr. Britton. It's a big cleaning bill on its way to the Crew Chief Megacorp head office. Just see how quickly, if at all, Pavlicek can close down Jim Britton. Jim's next stop due in about 20 minutes or so if he's going to, as he was saying in the pre-race chat. There's a third place man, James Mead. Just see Camaletto go through under your screen there. Disappearing up the hill. Mead goes through. There is Camaletto, Mead, Cliff Bulk. Ian Paskin in the background there in the Golf liveried Ferrari. TSR team. Transatlantic Sim Racing. Have a search from the net. Go and have a look at their website. Get involved with some of their races. Great group of lads. Good to have them with us as well for this 5th running of the GT3 Masters here at RRLeagues. James Mead drove a really consistent race today. Good to have him back racing here at RRLeagues. So where's Detrimental on track? He's just through turn 1. Where's Jack Camaletto? Just coming down to the final corner. So that's your gap between first and second. Wow, did you hear how early Camaletto was on the gas then through the final corner? Really pushing on here is Jack. Sounded like a little short shift then as well. I'm not sure if that's the... No short shift there. That was at the top of the rev range. So these three, Camaletto, Mead and Bulk, ploughing through the laps and the minutes. All yet to stop again. Ralph Arella just coming through that part of the set. You can just see that's the gap there. About 6 seconds or so between Arella and Bulk as they go through the mountain section. So Arella trying to pull back as much as he can there. Where's Jim Britton? Jim Britton just coming up to the hairpin. Being chased by Pavlicek. Suddenly that McLaren got some pace down the straights, obviously. You know how quick it is through here. But this is costing Pavlicek. On that strange strategy. Taking his splash and dash in the middle of the race. You can see the nimbleness of that 720S helping Jim get a good half a second or so on Radek. So when they get to the straight, any power the Lamborghini's got is to close the gap rather than to overtake. And Radek will close up again. Looks like we've lost Binnersley as well, down to 19 now. The mountain taking its victims. Really is a survival battle as well as a speed one. Andre Moll comes out the pits of Rue Dennis there in the background. Pavlicek will close up again right onto the tail of Jim Britton here. Good pace from Britton this. But is this costing Pavlicek his second place? Maybe third, maybe even fourth. With Camaletto, Mead and Bulk all making good time up front. And they come in for their stops. Is this going to be enough of a stint from Pavlicek to see him retain his second position? Britton gets it wrong. Oh, big accident, Jim Britton. Pavlicek misses it. McLaren looks like there's a few body panels loose there. That would have shocked him, let me tell you. 1 hour and 13 minutes without incident, and suddenly Jim Britton has totaled that McLaren completely off the ground. See if we can see it. Here we go. Gets it sideways. Boom! Through the S's. Just gives the other side a tap for good measure. And that's Jim Britton's McLaren. Looking slightly worse for wear. Si Fillingham having a little giggle to himself, I'm sure. And suddenly Jim's Britton's strategy out the window. Will he be into the pits this time? He is. No, yes. Comes in for repairs. There's a little wiggle just to check the steering as he comes in. But Britton into the pits after that big accident. That has released Pavlicek. He's just gone through. Cameron can't quite keep up. There we go. Pavlicek lucky to miss that. Uses the force. A bit severe. A bit overpowered. But the force was strong. Jim Britton no longer in the way of Radek Pavlicek. Depreter leads 3.5 seconds ahead of Camaletto, Mead, Bulk, Arella, Pavlicek, all stops completed. Jim Britton in the pits for repairs. Forsberg 8th, still to stake one more stop. Horvath's done all of his in 9th. Fillingham still to make a stop in 10th, but has been in for a stop and go. That's why he's down in 10th. Cleaver 11th, all done. Magyar 12th, all done. Mole 13th, all done. Wicklander 14th, all done. Ladislav Toff in 15th, still to make one more stop. Ruud Dennis, all done. Sam Cockayne, all done. Ian Paskin, one stop still to make. Peter Naziba, all done. So that's your rundown. 19 runners left. That's Pavlicek. That's Cliff Bulk just ahead of him. So Pavlicek making really good time here. Already a stop ahead of Cliff Bulk. This is for position as Bulk drops into the pits anyway. So Pavlicek's luck running well here. Radek now up to 5th. And just 28 seconds ahead to Depatrier, who is in the pits. Camaletto through. Takes the lead of the race again. But Pavlicek will now go ahead of Depreter. Camaletto, Arella, Pavlicek effectively leading the race. From James Mead, Depreter still in the pits, but he's now out on his out lap. James Mead comes into the pits, we're along with Cliff Bulk, so those two making their stop. 3/4 of an hour left to go. What's the gap between Pavlicek and Depreter? There's Pavlicek. Where is Bram on the circuit? Just coming up to the hairpin. So that's the lead that Pavlicek's got. Can he keep that against the rampaging Bram at Depreter? 43 minutes. It's about time Rad won a race. This is his opportunity. Not to rule out Camaletto and Arella, don't forget. Those two still 1 and 2, but still to make a stop. Pavlicek 3rd. Depreter in 4th, following his incident with David Dorr, which ended David Dorr's race. Jas Forsberg 5th. Horvath up to 6th. Bellingham 7th. Jim Britton's come out in 13th place down there after his repairs, so that was a big old accident as we saw. So easy to make such a simple mistake like that. It's to ruin your races. 5 of the drivers already found out tonight who have already retired from the race. Britton continues though, 13th. Not a disaster, but he will be annoyed. Jim's always annoyed. He will be even more annoyed than normal. So the gap between Pavlicek and Depreter, 22 seconds, about the lead that Depreter had over him at the first round of pit stops. So this is going to be a case of who can make it through the traffic and make it through the mountain successfully and quickly, and come back in 40 minutes. We'll see how that ends, but stick with us if you can. I've been talking for long enough. I'm going to grab a drink. I'll let you watch. Who should we put you on board with? Should we get on board with Bram as he chases down? There we go. Right, that's better. Back in the game. Where are we? 21 seconds. So it's closing, but slowly. Caminetto out in front still leads. Jack on a more readable strategy, conventional strategy than Pavlicek, but whatever Radek's done is working, unless he's trying to get those tyres to go 2 hours, which might be a whole different ball game come the end of the race. We'll see. Jack out on his own, 12 seconds or 13 seconds ahead of Ralph Herrera. That drink obviously went straight to my head. Ralph Herrera in second. Radek in third. Bram in fourth. Jazz Forsberg up to fifth in the R8. Great performance from Jazz today. Still to make a stop though. Robert Horvath sixth. Cy Fillingham in seventh. Again, still to make a stop. Cliff Bulk eighth. Jones Bede 9th, Aaron Cleaver just 12 seconds off Jones Bede. That's a great drive from Aaron Cleaver. Dusan Magyar in the NSX 14 seconds behind Aaron. Andre Mole, good recovery drive from him, up to 12th. Jim Britton after that. Can't even call it a collision. It was an impact of unusual size. Down in 13th after his repairs. Wicklander there in 14th. Ladislav Toth 15th for JJ Racing. Rude Dennis, good performance from him again, up to 16th. Sam Cocaine still circulating in 17th, along with teammate Ian Paskin in 18th. And Peter Naziba still running in 19th. And we've lost 5 drivers from an original field of 24. It's not really much close racing I can get to show you, because they're all pretty much spread out, these guys. Again, the JJ Racing team understanding a blue flag, moves over in plenty of time for Jack. Proudly showing the 001 on his windscreen, notifying us he's in first place, and continues to lead as he goes through for another lap. 40 completed. Caminetto leads Arella, Pavlicek, Depreter, Forsberg, Horvath, Finningham, Bulk, Mead and Cleaver. That's your top 10. Remember guys, if you haven't hit the like button for us, please do so. Just lets everyone know that this is worth watching. It's been a break in the action so far, but this is the strategy phase of the race. Well, it is for Caminetto and Arella. For Pavlicek and Depreter, it really is sun's out, guns out time. Pavlicek still with 22 seconds on Bram. Little brush to the wall there from Caminetto, that's fine. Lamborghini looking very settled through that section. Is Jack doing enough to come out ahead of his teammate? 23 seconds is the gap. That's a very quick pit stop if he can do it in 23 seconds, but we'll see. Stranger things have happened. Second place man Ralph Arella. Currently sitting in second. Big gap between him and Caminetto, around 15 seconds. It's that Lexus. Struggles with the pace of the Lamborghini around here today. Don't see much of Jazz Forsberg today. Let's have a go on board with Jazz. Running in 5th position. A great drive from him today. Really good to see Jazz back to his best. He's one of the guys that really helped me settling at RRLeagues when I first joined. A lot of time for Jazz. He's a great guy. Currently running 5th, as I said, still to make a stop though. So Robert Horvath, about 12 seconds behind, will be looking to jump Jazz when he makes that stop. As will Finningham, but Finningham also to stop as well. That second stop for his stop go, really hurting his race. Mistake on the entrance to the pit lane, just couldn't get the car stopped in time. Finningham effectively having to make 3 stops this race rather than just the allotted 2. So when Forsberg comes in, likely that Horvath and Bulk will jump him and be looking to come out ahead of Aaron Cleaver if possible. Literally just losing a couple of spots. Really good result for Jazz. So the only driver to choose the R8. Personally, I think it's a great little car. And the Evolution model apparently even better. Although I don't know what it's like following the massive changes that Kunos have made. I wouldn't have thought they changed the Evolution model that much because it came out in the pack that was released with the changes. So Forsberg just coming up on one of the JJ Racing cars there. I think that said in the windscreen Peter Naziva. No, it didn't. I can't read obviously. It's Ladislav Toth. So Toth in 13th allows Jas Forsberg through. As I said earlier, been really great to have Ladislav and Peter with us on JJ Racing. Really good to see them with RRLeagues. We hope they stick around for a while. Nice to have them on the grid. Oh, no, 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 don't. Oh, commentator's curse saved. And that takes some skill, let me tell you. Ladislav Toth, congratulations, sir. You have just levelled up to level 3. Should we cut away quickly before we cause him any more damage? Looks like Arella has been in for his stop and come out in 3rd position now. Or is he? It's just dropped him down to 4th. Let's go and find out where drivers are. So there's Ralph Arella just going through turn 2. Where's Bram? Bram's already going through the mountain. Where's Pavlicek? He's already coming out of the mountain. 16 seconds now the gap, so Bram making some good headway here. Pavlicek now, as Jack Caminetto runs into the pits, not literally, and comes in for his stop. Let's see how long he stays in the Jacks. Trust me, I know it's not very interesting, but it is interesting in the context of the race. He gets one of the last pit stops right at the end of the pit lane. Comes in for his stop. Count of seconds. He's down and gone. So quick stop for Camiletto. Here you've got a whole race on those tyres. Where's he going to come out with Pavlicek? Pavlicek just coming down the start-finish straight. Camiletto is going to come out ahead. Camiletto leads. Genuinely leads now from Pavlicek in 2nd, ahead of Depreter in 3rd. Wow. Can these guys make these tyres go 10? That must have been quite a stint from Camiletto there. Comes out about 7 or 8 seconds ahead of Pavlicek. It says 37 there. That's not true. So there's Camiletto, and you can see Pavlicek just going through that section. Here's Pavlicek. There's Camiletto. So literally on the same stretch of tarmac, 6 seconds. Camiletto's, as I said, slightly more. I'm lost for words. What the word is? Conventional. Thank you. Slightly more conventional strategy appearing to work over that of Pavlicek. Half an hour to go. Camiletto leads. Stop go for Forsberg. Oh my god. The commentator's curse is working. I'm so sorry, Jazz. I'm really sorry, man. Forsberg gets a stop go. That'll push him down the field, unfortunately. We're down to 16 now. The 2 TSR Ferraris of Cocaine and Paskin still running. The 2 Porsches of JJ Racing of Toth and Nazeeba still running. Looks like we've lost Aaron Cleaver. Yep, Aaron's no longer with us. So the list of casualties grows. And James Mead, where's James Mead disappeared to? James Mead also no longer on the timing street. Sorry when I missed that, guys, but yeah, they've gone as well. I've got an instant here from Aaron Cleaver. Let's see what that gives us. Cleaver spins round right in front of one of the TSR guys. That was that incident. We've also lost Dusan Magyar as well in one of the NSXs. That's a shame. Let's see what this tells us. Oh, Magyar losing it. Unfortunately, holds the, that's what you should do. Hold the position. I'm saying nothing about Sebring yesterday, but yet hold once you spin. Look for the inside. Obviously, got the line wrong. Lost it on entry. And again, the TSR guy gets tapped. Presumably, I'm not going to say it was Ian Paskin because I know Ian's luck, but I'm presuming that was Ian Paskin. So, the woes continue. Down to 16 drivers. We've lost 8. Camaletto leads after his long stints, but still on the same set of tyres here, as is Radek Pavlicek. 17 seconds then back to Bram de Pretet. A further 20 seconds back to Arella in 4th. Horvath in 5th. Fillingham 6th. Bulk 7th. Forsberg serving his stop-go. Andre Mol now up to 9th, which is a great recovery drive after his first lap. Unfortunate incident that pushed him right back down the field. Great recovery drive from Andre Mol. He might be slightly happy now. Jim Britton in 10th, Ladislav Toff 11th, Ruud Dennis up to 12th. Great drive from Ruud. Well done, sir. Although he's... and there's Jazz just coming out the pits after serving his penalty. Camaletto, the leader, right behind him. Jazz, though, as we've seen, with pace today, so we'll try and carry this as far as he can before waving, getting out of the way of the blue flags. He does there. Nice place to do it as well. Well done, Jazz. Lets the leader through. Doesn't lose too much time either. And now Forsberg will tag onto the back of Camaletto through the mountain and use him as a marker. Unfortunately, Martin Kennedy just said that Ian Paskin has also retired from the race after an accident in the chase. That's a shame. So Ian Paskin out of the race, or is he? We're down to 15. Who else have we lost? That's another one gone. Ian's still running, but we've lost one more. We're now down to 15th. The casualty list getting longer and longer. Just 24 minutes left to go. In the team championships, Arella and Fillingham are going to come out with some points here. Fillingham's done his stop, still come out in 7th place. Arella 4th, Cliff Bulk in 6th, so that's going to throw the championship wide open, especially Camaletto and Pavlicek currently 1 and 2. Of course, Brown won't score, being a guest of us tonight, so Arella effectively will be 3rd. Horvath will be 4th, Bulk will be 5th, Fillingham will be 6th. This is in the points table, not in the race standings, of course. So it'll be interesting to see how the team championship shakes out, but it will be very, very close going into the final round. Who, unfortunately, one of those drivers won't be with us on track, but will be in the commentary box. So I'll let you try and work out who that one is going to be. But yeah, I'm going to be really happy to have a co-commentator with me in the final final race with a lot more knowledge than I've got of this racing. A lot more pace, which is obvious, obviously, and will bring a lot more to this stream than just my dull tones. So look forward to that in a couple of weeks' time, our final race in GT3 Masters. The track yet to be announced, not because there's been any drone strikes or tanks rolling through it, just because we're waiting to see what the DLC brought us, but there was no tracks. So I think the final round is at Silverstone in 2 weeks' time. 90-minute race. So join us for that in a couple of weeks' time. Jack Camaletto leads still, 8 seconds down the gap to Radek. Great strategy from Jack. Just got to make those tyres last to the end of the race. Turn the traction control up a couple of clicks just to help you get to the end of the race. As I start to lose a bit of grip, but I have to say, pretty much like most races Mr. Camaletto drives in, the car looks like it's on rails. Comes over the crest, down the hill, into 2. Depreter closing the gap on Pavlicek in 2nd. But not by much, and not enough to make a difference. I'm guessing Bram's car carrying some damage after that collision with David Dorr earlier. Shout out to the guys, Cocaine, Naziba, Paskin at the back there, continuing in the race. Despite being a few laps down, Dennis serves his final pit stop, so he's in. Ladislav Toth still to stop. So Reid should still come out in 12th position. But yeah, shout out to all those guys keeping going at the back despite being off the pace of the guys at the front. This really is more about having fun and experience than it is about ultimate glory and success. That's what we all do it for. Enjoyment, that is. Oh, Jack just starting to see the tail of that Lamborghini start to introduce itself to the front. But through for yet another lap. That lap of 2:03.4, his best lap of 2:02.8, so literally still flying around here is Camaletto. Forsberg just holding on to him in the background. Remember, lapped him earlier, but still in sight. But Camaletto really making sure of this one. Really in the zone here. Bram Depreter was leading by such a big margin at the start of the race. Now down in 3rd. And Shaw just driving to bring it home. There's a few funny gear changes in certain places there that I wasn't expecting, so not sure if Bram was short shifting or it's just the characteristics of that Honda. But good to see him still having fun, dragging that car around. Saw quite a lot of Robert at the start of the race. Made his way back up to 5th after a few little incidents. Was the first one to stop. Well, stop for reasons other than incidents. Currently in 5th. 3 seconds behind Arelli. You can just see Arelli in the going through the camera there, so Horvath's got a target for the last 20 minutes of the race or so, which is more than most people have got it here. Pavlicek closing it down slightly on Camaletto, but we're talking tenths a lap. Horvath's got Arella in his sights. The active targeting system of that Lamborghini fully operational. Ralph used to having a target on his back, so that won't bother him at all. 3 seconds the gap between those two. You should just see Arella go through the bottom of your picture. Have a quick look at where they are on track, these guys. There we go. So the red dot you're looking at on the screen, car number 16, Robert Horvath, 77, just in front of him is Arella. And you can see the leader, the triangle just going through the chase there, that's Jack Camaretto. So that's the difference between 5th place man Horvath and the leader Camaretto. Pavlicek 64, just going through the chase, you can see there. Car in front of him, Jazz Forsberg, as we saw earlier. Camaretto passing him. 44 just going through the chase, that's Depreter, Bram. Currently in third. A big gap then back all the way back to car number 77, just going down the Conrod straight, as I said, along with Robert Horvath. So as Camaretto, the leader, goes up one straight on the other side of the track, Horvath and Arella go down the other one. Gives you an idea of positionings of where those cars are on track. Horvath goes through a 2:03.2, just a tenth off his best lap of the race. And we put that on with Arella. A 2:03.5. So slowly catchy monkey, but too slowly, I think. Just 14 minutes to go. Although Andre Mole just ahead. Respectful blue flag driver, so shouldn't cause any issue to these guys. Although those best lap timings might just be for this stint. I think ACC resets their best lap depending on what stint you're doing as opposed to a full race time. So take those with a grain of salt. Just come up to 8 AM in the morning. The sun nicely out now. Shadows, early morning shadows being cast. Looks like a lovely morning. Actually quite, the graphics are so good. Actually makes it start to feel like summertime. And we all need a bit of that in our lives. Shame there isn't a part of the world where it's just like May all year round, or September. It'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Right out through the final corner. 51 laps completed. Camaretto leads Pavlicek. That gap's slightly being extended now. Over 8 seconds. Bram's got the gap going to Pavlicek to 11.5, but with just 12 minutes to go, and this Radek makes an error. It looks like a certain 1-2 for the paradigm shift boys. Arella here in 4th. About to pass Andre Mole. Mole gets a blue flag, but probably won't serve that until the straight. David Dorfan to his cost. slowing through the top section of the mountain. It's only lead to disaster, even for the most experienced of drivers. Mole is in a race here with Jim Britton, just 5.5 seconds behind Jim's battered McLaren. So he won't want to give up too much time here with Andre Mole. Does let Arella through though. And he's going to let. Is he going to let Horvath through as well? Very respectful from Andre Mole. Such a nice guy. He's got that outlook where he just wants everything to be fair. Unfortunately, life's a bit shit like that. But Andre, if a nice guy you won't meet. But letting those two guys through like that has probably just cost him his chance of catching Jim Britton. But I think Andre, after his incident on the first lap that pushed him right to the back of the field, he'll be pretty pleased with his drive tonight, up to 10th. Although there's only 15 drivers, it's 10th and he's only just off the lead lap. Let's put that into some kind of context. Even Cliff Bulk. I say Cliff Bulk's been lapped, but he hasn't. I was just thinking the timing was going there. The +1 lap runs down. All after the red, the gap now 1.7. So Robert Horvath slowly. Oh, mistake from Ralph. Well, about as much of a mistake you'll ever see from Ralph, but that was an error. That's cost him half a second or so. I did think Robert Horvath, though, had a tyre in the dirt up there as well, so any time that Ralph would have lost there, I think Robert gave him back. But yeah, if you've got that on replay, keep that, because that's about as much of a mistake as you'll ever see Ralph Arella make. Especially when it comes to car control anyway. But even that skill, no match for Jack Camaletto today. He still sits out in front. You can see last lap 2:03.2. Consistent. But let's put the timetables up just to have a look at that. Can we click on Jack? Letters? Let's get times. No, it won't. I was hoping that would give us a list of times. One of the JJ Racing boys gets out the way there. Okay, done with that. But both Jack and Radek, team paradigm shift first and second. That gap's been 8 seconds all the way along, and the two of them have had a consistent gap between them all race really. I think the only thing that cost Radek today was possibly his strategy. Well into the last 10 minutes of the race here. Camaletto just hoping those black circles keep hanging on, and by the looks of it they're doing a great job. 2:03.5 this time. Really in the zone. Redder and Horvath now down to 1.5 seconds. Bulk in 6th, Fillingham in 7th. That could have been quite easily, probably not a fourth, but certainly without that stop and go penalty, he would definitely be ahead of Cliff Bog. Just Forsberg, same story for him. Stop and go for Forsberg, down in 8th. Jim Britton lives to fight another day after his horrible accident going through where Amatto's just about to arrive at. Saw Jim's McLaren up in the air as it hit the barriers with so much force. He lost it through here. Andre Mole 10th, had his accident on the first lap. Great recovery drive from him. Ladislav Toth still to... Oh, Jack just brushing the wall there just to make sure he says hello to it while he's here. Just wake him up out of his zone. No harm done though. Yeah, Ladislav Toth comes in. I was about to say, I hope he doesn't forget to make his stop. He's in now to make that final stop of the race. Quick splash and dash for him. A great drive by Rude Dennis. So glad to have him along in RRLeagues. He's a fantastic member of the community. He hasn't been with us long, but just fits in with what we think about here at RRLeagues and how we portray ourselves. Really, really good to have him along with us. Sam Cocaine in 13th. He's in the pits for a stop. I'm guessing that's for some kind of damage. We saw him lose it earlier on, didn't we? So I wonder if that car is just about to go up the ghost and Sam's struggling with it so much he needs to get it repaired. Peter Zebra in 14th and Ian Paskin fair play. Continue along, 6 laps down, but still dragging that TSR Ferrari to the end. Pavlicek just easing off as he comes to the final part of the race. Getting that to Camiletto around 10 seconds. Depreter closing the gap to Pavlicek to under 10 seconds. I read it to make sure he's not got any issues. Here he is in second. Trust me, the cars are different. Every panel's painted differently. A mirror image of Jack Camiletto's car. Supporting all the Ukrainians around the world. Nice touch by the Paradigm Shift boys. Only because I love this shot. I love just how much that changing undulation. You don't see it so much when you're driving the car, but that really does put it into some form of context. Pavlicek comes round to complete another lap. There's Bram. Again, come around the final corner in third. The 2 JJ Racing boys just behind him of Peter Naziba and Ladislav Toth. Redder and Horvath. Redder looks like he's broken Horvath. There is Arella. Where is Robert Horvath? Just coming down the Conrod. So Arella's broken away from Robert. Whether Robert's made a mistake. But this is how they'll finish up. Incidents aside, Jack on a penultimate lap, just going through the mountain. Chopper Camp doing a great job here, giving you an idea of the twists and turns Camaletto comes down into the chase. And down to the final corner. He'll take the white flag this time round. One more lap to go with Jack Camaletto. His first win in the GT3 Masters. Especially, well, GT3 Masters at this time round. Round 5 of the 5th running. You know what I mean. It's been a long 2 hours. It's been a long last 24 hours, to be fair. So we'll stay with Jack for the final lap. 15 drivers made it round from a starting grid of 24. Fair play to each and every one of them. It's hard work up there, a lot of concentration, where a single error can make it all fall apart, as Jim Britton showed live to us as we were watching. I'm not going to give the commentators curse to Camaletto other than to say it's been a fantastic drive from him. Strategy was bang on, drive was bang on. And that car has been absolutely faultless all race. And Jack still throwing it through the corners on the last lap. Absolutely one of those zones where you just drive it as you know. Even though it's your final tour and you're 10 seconds ahead of the guy behind. Comes down to Conrad for the final time. Into the chase. 57 laps of almost faultless driving from Camaletto. Oh, that little bang at the wall we saw. It's been pretty epic. Down to the final corner. What a drive. Jack Camaletto, paradigm shift. Going to come round for the win of round 5. Jack Camaletto wins at Bathurst. Gives us a little flash to say hello. And another one just to say hello again. Second place, man. Radek Pavlicek for paradigm shift. A 1-2 for those guys today. That's an epic performance. Detrimental comes home in third in NSX. Nice guest appearance from Bram, winner of the last running of the GT3 Masters. He's still got it, hasn't he? Good to see him with us today. And he's going straight off for his hot dog. As is Jazz Forsberg there, who comes home in 8th. Ralph Varela just about to come down to the final corner. He'll come home in 5th position. Nice driving from Ralph. Crew chief car of Jim Britton comes home there in 9th position. A lap down, but good driving from Jim. Apart from that, I say it, one small error that cost him so dear. Robert Horvath will be your 5th man across the line. He comes through. Few incidents for Robert today. He won't be too happy with that, but he won't be too disappointed either. 5th place is a good result for Robert. And if you take the guest score of Bram out of the way, that's an effective 4th for Robert, so that's a nice result for him. Coming through for 6th, effective 5th, is Cliff Bulk for the Intense Racing team. Brings that home in 6th position, but will score 5th place points. And your 7th place man will be Cy Finningham, last across the line. Cy comes home for 7th. That could have been a little bit better for him had he not had that error in the pit lane. But they've all had errors tonight, with the exception of just a couple of people. Jack Camaletto being one of those, who drove absolutely fantastically tonight.
Green light. Go, go, go.
I'll jump into the waiting room. I wasn't in there actually. I'll jump in there now just in case anyone wants to talk to us. Turn my push to talk off, which is normally what I do. We'll see if we can get Jack to come in and have a word with us. Stick the highlights on. No, I almost pressed the wrong exit button then. Let's get the replays up. So, 5th round gone. One more to go at Silverstone, 2 weeks' time. Don't forget to join us for that. Next week, Sunday, we've got the last round of the GTO series. So, join us for that next Sunday. No commentary, because I should be racing. Hopefully it'll last longer than it did at Monza. That's not the right screen. Hang on. There we go. Back again. Gallery. Highlights. That one. Multiplayer race. Highlights. That one. There we go. We'll watch that one for a bit. Yeah, join us for that next Sunday. And on Thursday, we've got the first round of the second running of the Coalition Cup in association with the guys from RWB, TSR, SCB, basically all the guys who run within the Community Challenge Series, along with RWB, all come in to join together to join and race with the Equia. So, come with us on Thursday. The stream will be provided by RWB, but we will be trying to run it concurrently alongside on our own YouTube channel, but commentary will be provided by the guys from RWB, which is highly appreciated as always. So that'll be on Thursday. And then what else have we got coming up at RRLeagues? Let's have a look. Coalition Cup on Thursday. Saturday, of course, we've got the 4th round of the Communities Collide series. That's in the 2016 DTM cars, so the Mercs, the BMWs around Spa. So join us for that again, guys from GT Renseri and TSR, OTL and blah blah blah, and TSR and all the guys. They'll all be there. Six communities all taking part in that one. So join us for that next Saturday. Sunday, says the GTOs, and then the Coalition Cup a week on Thursday, 2nd round. That runs weekly, 4-round championship. So yeah, join us for that as well. Pretty intense schedule we've got coming up as the 2 main championships come to a close. Just have a look, see what I can see in the comments on Discord. Yeah, Travis Rodriguez saying he destroyed the car coming down the hill. And that was the end of Travis. James Mead saying his concentration dropped, knew he was going to make more mistakes and retire because he didn't want to affect the championship races. That's the kind of guy James Mead is. He's a great lad, and good to have him on board today for as long as we did. Enjoyed racing with Cliff Bulk, and apologises to Cliff, saying I know that me crashing would have caused yours, so I don't know what happened there, but again apologising to Cliff. That's James all over, so it was nice to have James with us today. Everyone giving Radek, Jack and Bram just rewards for their fantastic performances today. Sam Cocaine saying the 5-stop strategy didn't work. I like that, Sam, very nice. At least you've still got a sense of humour after tonight. Jack giving notice for Bram and Radek, saying what great pace and consistency those guys had. You just watched the TSR. Ah, Si, hello. How you doing?
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright, man. How was that?
Yeah, it was a pleasure, mate, a pleasure.
That first stint,
however, tinged with a bit of...
Yeah, I know, we did catch it on stream as well, unfortunately, but that first stint when you and Jim, that Lexus, just Jim couldn't, as soon as he pulled out your draft, he was going nowhere.
Yes, thank God for the straight line speed of it, because I fueled heavy. I went full, well, 120 is the limit. I went 115 litres. I thought I'll do an hour on one set of tyres, so I was hoping that would play out, that scenario. I'd be slow over the mountain in the twisty bit perhaps, but on the straights I'd be able to just keep ahead, and that played out. It was a great battle with Jim. It was tense. It's nice to follow and put pressure on someone in front at Bathurst, but when you've got someone up your arse for 3/4 of an hour, it's really stressful.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but is it following through the mountain? Would you prefer that, or would you prefer to have a clear screen in front of you? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It is a tricky one, but I don't know. I see what you're saying, but just yeah, you just got to be on your guard, especially when Jim's rearing all over your rear end. But yeah, it was a nice battle while it lasted, and yeah, it's good driving. I don't know what happened to him because he came out. He ended up further back.
I'll let you watch it on stream, mate, but I think it was one slight error, and yeah, that sort of defined his race, really, which is a real shame because, I say, from what happened between the two of you for the first like 40 minutes or so, it was a really, really epic watch. So it was good.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so yeah, Radek and Jack are in the waiting room, so I'll let the winning boys have a quick word. Well done, guys.
Thanks very much, Si.
Paradigm shift 1 and 2. How about that? Back in the game, boys.
What just happened? A dimension to a portal to another dimension opened, and Radek and I have emerged.
Yeah, that Lambo channel is in a Bentley.
So, have you got a direct line to the guys at Kunos, or is that just like a private line? No, seriously, I mean, that was an epic performance, but I honestly thought that Radek had you, Jack, but that quick stop at the end there brought you out well in front of him. I thought he had you.
It was a weird one. We're kind of communicating for most of the race. I can never hear because I always have like the engine audio like way too loud probably, but you know, immersion. And yeah, so like at the beginning, I actually made a mistake. I didn't let Radek pass. I made a mistake at the beginning, and Radek got past. It worked out pretty well because I think what would have really benefited us was like keeping Horvath and the Bentleys of Bulk and Dor behind, and obviously the Lexuses
the Lexi
of 77 behind. And I knew Radek and I were on a slightly different strategy. Radek's car was set up to be faster at the beginning of the race, so it kind of worked anyway. It was like, right, cool, you go, I'll stay here, and like Radek was way faster in the first stint anyway. So like,
yeah, I mean, the gap between you and Radek was a second and a half, literally, for that first hour. It was like every time I looked at the screen, it was like second and a half. And then Radek, explain to me this strategy of this splash and dash halfway through the race. I don't get that one.
It was, I think, a bit overthought because I just took the axle out, calculated that optimum is to run 101 meters at 19 and then run full stint. But yeah, I supposed to leave Jack behind with like 5-7 second gap. That was the plan. I mean, assuming that we would run the same pace, but as you could see, it didn't pan out exactly like that. Yeah, I just don't know why Jack says I was so much faster in the first stint.
You were on it, man. You were on it.
Yeah, we had pretty much the same pace.
Yeah, I had to push to like keep up, especially at the beginning of the race, just because like the deficit in lap time for the amount of fuel you had on board, it's definitely noticeable at the top end. Certainly in the Lamborghini, and I think it was the same for the Bentley as well when we drove that the last GT3 Masters. So for those two cars in particular, anyway, you definitely notice the difference when like between like say for example 70 liters of fuel and 120 liters of fuel. Like the car handles massively differently, and it's much slower, so it's much more difficult to push. So yeah, it was hard. It was really hard to keep up, but it was weird. The thing is with Bathurst, man, it's like it's kind of luck of the draw as well when you come across back markers, and I think that like I think your strategy on paper, the strategy that Radek ran on paper is faster, but there's so many other factors that come into it. You know?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, after my second stop, I ended up right behind Jim, and was like, oh god. But lucky for me and lucky for him, he crashed in the depot, I think.
Yeah, he did.
And
big one.
It was quite ironic because my crew chief just congratulated me like right after that. Great move.
Yeah, you were lucky to miss that, really, weren't you? You bounced off the wall
Yeah.
and you just went straight past him. That was a bit of luck.
Yeah, there were a couple of those moments, but I'm super happy mostly because I didn't even scratch a car for 2 hours.
Did that little tap on the wall at the end there wake you up, Jack, or was that just
think
you
I
saying hello?
I had, I think I had a couple of scrapes along the wall. There was one quite bad one going up the hill, and then there was one coming down the hill, and there's a couple of times where I felt like I locked the brakes, or I went way too deep in the braking zone for the last corner.
I mean, I maybe tapped wall a couple of times, but I was checking my pit stop timer. It's always stayed at 30 seconds, so no damage to be fixed.
Do you want to know what happened to Bram and why you came out ahead of him?
I think we know already, but go on, tell us.
So David Dorr was David Dorr was coming up on a blue flag driver, but he had Bram behind him, so he pulled to one side, and then unfortunately Bram just hit him straight into the back into the dipper, and I think that was the end of David's race, and I think that's what caused Bram to have a certain amount of repairs. I think at least.
Yeah, that's what he posted.
Ah, right, okay. So yeah, that was why you came out ahead of him. But even so, I mean, it's so good to see you two boys back at the top again.
Thanks, man.
No,
Feels
it
good.
is.
Thanks,
Yeah, awesome it was. Great drive from the pair of you.
especially here.
And
Yeah.
Si, you're just going to be called the sponge from now on. The amount of pressure you seem to be able to soak up.
Yeah, it was happening again, wasn't it? I thought, Martin will be enjoying this on the stream, I'm sure. But yeah, was the opening lap fairly clean then? Nothing.
Yes,
major?
I think Andre Mole got involved in an incident at T1, which will obviously please Andre as it always does. But no, everyone was clean and we watched it through. All good. So congratulations to all the drivers that were out there. Well, most of the drivers that were out there. Only 16 finished though, I think, or 15. So we lost a few along the way, but no, still epic drive from all. I think anyone that gets through 2 hours of that, I think, is epic. And I kind of said that on stream. If you can bring the car home after 2 hours of that, then you deserve all the credit you get, and especially to you guys, especially to Jack and Radek anyway as well. So that was absolutely epic.
Yeah, 7 points at the top between Cliff and Ralph now.
Yeah, it's a real team killer, that one, wasn't it? The point killer.
Yeah. I wondered what had happened to David, but you just explained it there. So yeah, that's how it goes. So it'll all go down to Silverstone.
I must admit, after 12 hours driving around Seabury yesterday, I was kind of thinking David will be on a bit of a back foot today. So I'm sad to see what happened to him, but I was hoping he'd be okay, because it would have been a hard ask to do 2 hours around here again tonight as well. So. Anyway, guys, 2 weeks to go. 2 weeks to go, one race to go. Silverstone. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Hell yeah, yes. It's a home race, I suppose. So nice place to finish it. Not my favourite track, but yeah, looking forward to the challenge. Especially the competition's been really good this season. So one last blast at Silverstone to see who takes the plaudits. It'll be great fun.
And Radek, how do you think that Lambo will go around Silverstone?
I have no idea, but I'm pretty excited for the wet race. I hope properly wet this time.
Oh, let's not hope so. Oh God.
I have memories from wet races.
Yeah, I suppose. And Jack, are you looking forward to Silverstone?
I'm looking forward to watching it. Unfortunately, I will not be able to compete in a fortnight's time for the season finale. So good luck to everyone. Have a great time. Have an awesome race. I'll be watching. Radek, don't fuck up. Yeah.
Is there any chance we'll have you in the commentary box?
I might do. I'll definitely be available for comms. But
we definitely need somebody who knows what they're talking about in here anyway. So it'd be great if you could.
yeah, no problem. Lamborghini basically can only afford to take one car over. So Radek's the driver for the weekend.
That makes sense.
So I'm just gonna come.
I've seen your food bill, mate, so I can understand why I chose Radek.
That's it.
Anyway, guys, thanks again for coming in the commentary box and giving us a quick shout out to everybody. And again, all three of you, congratulations. But Jack and Radek, fabulous, mate. Well done tonight.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having us.
Yep. Cheers, Martin.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, guys. Good night.
So there was your race winner, race second, and RRLeagues sponge, Cy Fillingham, Radek Pavlicek and Jack Caminetto, all giving you their thoughts on tonight. Join us in 2 weeks' time, as I say, for the final round at Silverstone. It'd be great to have Jack in the commentary box if we can do that. I can take a rest and he can talk to you and actually make sense for 2 hours or for an hour and a half anyway. Next Sunday, GTO's final round of that. Join us for that. And obviously, as I said, Coalition Cup on Thursday. Be great to have you along for that as well. But until then, you've watched enough of. I think this is the third running of the replay now. So I'll get that off and say good night. Have the rest of a fantastic weekend at 10:15 here in the UK. Have a great week, and we'll see you in a week's time. Take care, guys.